Mr. Butcher, the principal at Kennedy Elementary School. And thank you for joining us as we travel the United States through books. Today we are traveling 1,734 miles northwest to Boulder, Colorado. Boulder, Colorado. I've been out there. It's one of the most beautiful places you will ever see. And today we will be reading a book, an award-winning book from Colorado, Help Wanted, Must Love Books. And we'll be doing an interview with Mr. Dayhoff, who's the principal at Bear Creek Elementary School. Not Bear Creek Middle School, but Bear Creek Elementary School. You're going to learn a little bit about their school. I actually went on that campus. When I go and travel, if I see an elementary school, I walk around. If I can get inside, I try to get inside. I don't break myself in, but if they let me in, they let me in. But otherwise, I just walk around the campus because I just want to see what other elementary schools are like. So let's go to our interview with Mr. Dayhoff of Bear Creek Elementary School in Boulder, Colorado, 1,734 miles away from Winder, Georgia. What is your name and the name of your school?
Yeah, my name is Tanner Dayhoff, Mr. Dayhoff with the kids. I'm at Bear Creek Elementary School in Boulder, Colorado, and this is my fourth year at this school.
How many students are in your school?
So our school has 345 students, and that's kindergarten through fifth grade. Okay. So the area that we're in is actually getting a little bit smaller.
What is your school mascot?
So we're Bear Creek Elementary, and what's interesting is we don't have an official mascot. It's actually something that's on my list to get done here at Bear Creek Elementary, because there's a lot of bears all over the school, but it's not something that's official. So I plan here over the next couple of years to hopefully get that official, and maybe get a mascot going, and a costume that we have, because I'm with you. I mean, every school needs a mascot.
Yeah. So we actually have a Bear Creek middle school in our system. And yeah, they're the Grizzlies. So
Grizzlies, yeah.
I see behind you. You got some four-wheelers shoveling snow. You could be the snow shovelers. It'd be perfect. What is the coolest thing on your campus?
I've thought a little bit about this. Occasionally we see animals, and we have some really cool playgrounds here. But for us, I think the coolest thing, and you can see it behind me now, you just mentioned it, is we get quite a bit of snow around here.
Yeah.
And snow is a big celebration for us. Kids, we've got a couple of hills, not like big hills, but they'll just go, sliding right down the hill in their snow pants, building huge forts, lots of fun. Unfortunately, I mean, one thing that I have to say on our announcements every day is that you can't throw snowballs. We don't allow that here at school, but I think one of the coolest things that we experience is just quite a bit of snow around here.
Yeah. What specials do you have?
So we have the same specials essentially. We have art, music, PE. Now at our school they do that for a week at a time before they go to the next one. I've heard of a lot of different schools doing different things, but we go for a week at a time. And then each class visits our library once a week. And our library is where we do a lot of, STEM or STEAM-based activities. We have actually 2 3D printers that have been going down there for quite some time. Every kid has made a little nameplate for their desk in school. So, I mean, they're school-based 3D printers. They're not, industrial. So it takes some time to make all those. Yeah. But, we've got quite a few pretty awesome things down there.
Nice. Has anyone done anything other than a nameplate that would be like, that was, because
we've done a couple things for presentations that kids are doing in order to be able to have an object to go with their presentation. So instead of, diorama or something like that, kids have made something off of the 3D printer. We've done a couple of those too.
That's all. What is the best thing served at your lunch?
Hands down, not at all disputed. It's nachos. Nacho Day is a celebrated day around here.
Wow.
Kids can get beef nachos or bean nachos. Oftentimes, there's a fresh salsa that goes with it. As the principal, I'm allowed to get the combo nachos. So that's my favorite. That's the one that I always go to. But Nacho Day is always a good day around here.
What is the coolest thing to do near your school?
Yeah, I was thinking about that again, and I think it kind of goes along with what we were talking about. A lot of our winter-based activities are just tons of fun. We here in Boulder, we are right next to the mountains. I mean, you've seen it, but your kids probably haven't. Our school actually is not more than a half a mile from what we call the Flatirons, which are these big, beautiful mountains. If you ever watch a football game with the Colorado Buffaloes, they'll always show those.
Yeah.
So we're right next to the mountains, and a lot of activities that we get to do up there. We have a lot of skiers, snowboarders, but also just going out and sledding, some snowshoeing. What our music teacher actually just went to something called a yurt, which is kind of like a hut almost,
Yeah.
but it was completely offline. No power, no electricity. They were able to, burn some wood to stay warm. But there's a lot of really cool, winter activities here in the state. And likewise, once the summer comes around, we're able to do a lot of things in those mountains too. So for us, I think our most fortunate thing is to be close to the mountains and having all the activities that go with that.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you want to happen in the next school year?
We've all been going through this pandemic, and I even look at your desk and see that you have your divider up back there, and
Yeah.
For me, my biggest hope for students here, but students across the United States, is that we can have another step towards a very normal year. Here at Bear Creek. Like for example, on our playground just 2 weeks ago, we started mixing kids. So before, you had just been with your class out on the playground, and we separated our playground in different spots. Bear Creek masks just became optional.
Yeah.
There's a variety of things that we just haven't gotten to do this year, and that's tough. So my best hope is that we're able to take another step towards normalcy, and getting back to doing some of those things that we used to do in the past, and the way that we used to do that in the past.
Yeah. So
Yep.
sounds good. Well, I appreciate your time, man.
Hey, absolutely. Have a good Friday.
Yeah, you too. Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.
Help Wanted, Must Love Books. The author is Janet Summer Johnson, and the illustrator is Courtney Dawson. Author is the person who wrote the words, illustrator is the person who drew the picture. So here we go. Help Wanted, Must Love Books. Unlike most kids, Shirley loved bedtime. She shimmied into her PJs, brushed her sparkling smile, then raided the bookshelf for the perfect bedtime story. My kind of girl. Her dad would squish into the rocker with her, and they'd read until her eyelids refused to stay open. This arrangement worked perfectly. ... Uh-oh, some things are going to change. Until her dad got a new job. Finally, Shaylee reached her limit. "You're fired," she announced. Dad was too busy to read at night, or too tired. She put up a job notice first thing the next morning. Help Wanted, bedtime storyteller. Must Love Books. Apply within. Interviews begin promptly at 6:30. And began interviews shortly after bedtime. So she put up a job notice, finished the next morning, and began interviews shortly before bedtime. The fierce competition scared off the first 3 applicants. 3 pigs and a wolf. The next applicant brought along her 7 bodyguards, which was fine until Shaylee offered them snacks. "Don't eat that, it's Wicked Queen in disguise." Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Shaylee refused to interview any other applicants that night. Interviews begin promptly at 6:30. Uh-oh, she was late. Before going to bed, she added a line to her job notice. Help wanted, bedtime storyteller. Must love books, apply within, individual applicants only. Interviews begin promptly at 6:30. The next night, the first applicant seemed delightful. Run as fast as you can. Until he ran away with the book. Fee fi fo fum, I hear the yawn of a tired one. Shaylee refused to come out from underneath the bed to interview applicant number 2, the giant. In the morning, Shaylee changed her sign again. Help wanted, bedtime storyteller, must love books, apply within, individual applicants only, human applicants only. Interviews begin promptly at 6:30. At the next interview, Shaylee's ears pricked right up. The applicant could spin tales that kept her on pins and needles. She was just about to offer the job when the woman zonked out mid-sentence. Sleeping Beauty, maybe? The second girl was particular about where she would sit. This chair is too hard. This beanbag is too soft. This bed is just right. Goldilocks. She made another sign. Help wanted, bedtime storyteller, must love books, apply within, individual applicants only, human applicants only, must be able to stay awake past 8 o'clock. Interviews begin promptly at 6:30. Shaylee had low expectations for the next round, but the first applicant had a very impressive resume. Her voice was musical, she could stay up past midnight, and she was obviously human. The two of them had a ball until Shaylee noticed the sooty fingerprints all over her favorite book. The second applicant hooked her right away. His storytelling gave her goosebumps, as did the gunk between his teeth. Another sign. Help wanted, bedtime story, must love books, apply within, individual applicants only, human applicants only, must be able to stay awake past 8 o'clock, solid hygiene skills required. Interviews begin promptly at 6:30. Shaylee despaired of ever finding a replacement for her dad until one final job seeker showed up. Who is it? Looks familiar, doesn't it? He looked kind of familiar, and his voice was just right. Best of all, he smelled like strawberries and chocolate chip cookies. So Shaylee offered him the job on one condition. She put all his work stuff off limits during bedtime stories. All his work stuff in there. Help wanted, must love books.